Welcome back to the Expediting Change podcast. I am here with another exciting guest. We're going to get into our financial education, our health and beauty, our topics, break them down into bite-sized pieces. I appreciate you coming back to the podcast over and over. The love has been resounding. We were having the pre-conversation, and my producer, who keeps me on track, was like, "Stop, no, get into the podcast right now." So we're gonna pop it off right now. So Expediting Change. Let's go.
Why is it you really wanna preach, boy? I wanna teach more, cause I'm experienced. If you can learn from
Welcome. Why don't you take the opportunity to introduce yourself to the Expediting Change guest?
Hello, everyone. My name is Karene Richards-Wise. I am the CEO and founder of Fit Hidden Figure, where we transform physiques in a matter of weeks.
Trent. So I wore my tight t-shirt today, knowing that you were gonna be on. So you could call me out if my belly pops out. You can call me
Yeah,
out on
I'm
it.
I'm calculating your body fat percentage right now.
And I still got to get that DEXA scan. It's just real expensive, but I gotta find that in my budget. Maybe Khalifa let me borrow a couple dollars. But it's a pleasure. It's great to have you on. We're gonna get right into it. So talk to me first. Tell me how did you get into this? Like what got you to this point? Because when we had a conversation at the table of Visage, you have a myriad of experience. Your finance background is solid. You go and you speak to individuals, but your passion is this health and taking care of your body. So how'd you get to that?
Yes, so it really started when my mom passed away from breast
Mm,
cancer at 48 years old.
sorry to hear that.
Yep, I thank you. I was working at JP Morgan
Mm-hmm.
on the emerging markets desk.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally got a call from my dad to say my mom had 2 days to live.
Oh my goodness.
And jumped on a plane, get there, and she died 2 days later. And as she
Oh.
was dying, my dad said, Karene, um, Daddy can't take another loss.
Mm,
I'm gonna need you to practice better self-care
no
than your
doubt.
mom did.
No doubt.
And
So he recognized something that you didn't?
yeah, so I'm from Kingston, Jamaica,
Mm-hmm.
and for a man to look at a woman and say, "Look, we got to work on self care,"
Yeah.
because in a country like the Caribbean, the woman does everything around the house,
Mm.
and
Mm-hmm.
the husband comes first, the kids come first, and the woman tends to put herself last.
Mm.
And that was what was modeled for
Mm.
me as a
Mm-hmm.
child.
Mm-hmm.
My mom was a pharmacy professor. She
Mm-hmm.
owned her own pharmacy,
Nice.
and she preached, getting good grades.
Yeah.
And for me, I was at, I was about 25 at the time.
Yeah.
And I said, Mom, I did all of that. I got the perfect SAT math
Yeah.
score. I got into Howard on a full ride
Hate
scholarship.
you.
You know, uh, got a full ride to Columbia University to study
Nice.
financial mathematics. And I'm like, what's the purpose of all of this
Yeah.
if you're going to just die at 48 years old?
Mm.
That human capital that you lose at 48,
Mm-hmm.
as a family, we invest a lot in her education.
Mm-hmm.
And to just get such a huge income earner to pass away at
For
48
sure.
hit the family's finances really hard.
Mm.
So I'm 24 at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and I buried my mom, came back, continued working at JP Morgan.
So you left the States to go to Jamaica and then you came back.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just there for a month. JP Morgan gave me some bereavement
Yeah,
time,
for sure.
and took daddy to the beach, hang out with
Yeah.
him, for
Yeah.
a good month, and came back and did what I promised my dad, that I was going to practice better self
Absolutely.
care.
Absolutely.
So, what you could Google, walk for
Yeah.
30 minutes a day,
Yeah.
at the time keto diet was a big
Yeah.
thing. And um, I just continued doing what I thought was a healthy and fit lifestyle
Mm-hmm.
until at 35,
Mm-hmm.
the doctors found a lump in my breast.
Oh.
And the last time a woman in my family found a lump in her breast, she
Yeah.
was dead 2 years later.
Yeah.
So I said, at this time, I'm now in DC.
Mm-hmm.
I had worked for the World Bank, and now
Mm-hmm.
I'm at Fannie Mae
Mm-hmm.
trading mortgage-backed securities for Fannie Mae. And it hit me hard.
Yeah.
So I said, no,
Mm,
I'm going on a rogue health and fitness journey.
no doubt.
So I looked at myself and I said, well, after all these years working in front office,
Mm-hmm.
I work well under stress.
Mm-hmm.
So what can I find that is the most stressful thing on the planet that will get me to fix this health and fitness
Yeah,
issue for good?
for sure.
And what I came up with is that I'm going to be this bikini competitor,
All right.
right? So I signed up for a bikini competition
Yeah.
7 months after they found a lump in my breast.
Okay.
Competed and got fourth place in my first competition.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you. And in bodybuilding, they say you either love it or hate it.
Yeah.
So I got the competition bug, and I kept on competing
Mhm.
until I got drafted in the Pro League of Bodybuilding in
Nice.
2022.
Nice. That's dope.
Yeah.
So, tell me the difference. So, what was self care then in that mindset when, is it okay if I call him your pops?
Yes.
All right.
I call him daddy.
All right. I'm not calling him daddy, though. I'm not calling him daddy.
That's my daddy. I'm a big daddy's girl. I love my daddy.
I respect that. So when he first said that to you, self-care, what was that self-care versus what you find self-care is now, being in the position and the state past or post everything with the lump and bikini, etc.
Huge difference. First and foremost, I prioritize protein.
Mm.
So high protein. I was not even tracking protein at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have about 140 to 150 grams of protein, coming from things like, turkey breast,
Yeah.
Shrimp,
Yeah.
egg whites, lots of egg whites, and that
Yeah.
kind of thing. High protein that is simultaneously low in fat.
For sure.
Right. I wear a heart rate monitor around the chest. So if I'm going to do cardio, I'm not just running willy-nilly.
Yeah.
So what a lot of people don't understand is if you are doing cardio and your heart rate is too high, you're no longer burning body fat, you're burning carbohydrates,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to know what your target heart rate needs to be
Yeah.
to optimally burn body fat, right? And you know that by doing a test called a VO2. So there are human performance centers all across the country that measures things like your VO2 performance. And this is not just something you do on your Apple Watch. They put an oxygen mask
Like,
around
for real.
your nose. You wear a heart rate monitor around the chest. They increase the intensity. And they measure the carbon dioxide that is coming out of your nose at every level of heart rate
Yeah.
to determine at what point you go from aerobic to something called anaerobic.
Okay.
And at that twitching point is where your optimal body fat loss will occur.
Yeah.
And that is how I train. So I never train without a heart rate monitor. And the heart rate monitor is not, I have a Fitbit that produces a heart rate, but it's not as accurate as a one worn around the chest.
At my gym they have it, and I never bought it, but now you're convincing me to get it. So Future of Fitness, you owe if I buy that joint. That's my gym, Future of Fitness. So I know your background. The audience does not. I know you're super busy and you're super smart and you work with CEOs. How do you dispel this myth around I'm just too busy, right? Because it's easy to say, look, I'm so busy. I'm just not going to eat McDonald's. I'm not going to eat fast food and I'm going to be okay. Like, how do you convince folks to slow down, take a pause, step back, and take care of your body as a temple, as opposed to everything else that is going on in the daily grind?
Yep. Very good question.
Thank you.
So CEOs live, damn near impossible lives.
No doubt.
Right?
We were just talking about it, right? Like, you still work, like, how you do that full time? Like, what?
Exactly. So all I require is just 1 hour a day, right? I do everything else on the back end. So the idea is that I bring bodybuilding to executives, right?
Okay.
But the average bodybuilder spend a lot of time in the gym, spend a lot of time cooking, prepping meals, and things like that. So what I do is 1 hour of training, either strength training or cardio, right? And the strength training, I actually send a trainer to their home to do the in-person training with a heart rate monitor and that kind of a thing. So that way we know that we maximize that hour, right? Trainers will go to their home up to 5 a.m. in the morning, whatever it takes. Okay. Then
And these trainers are employed by you, your company.
Exactly.
Okay.
And they're
All
all
right.
pro bodybuilders
Okay.
as well.
But is that like, I don't want to be a bodybuilder though.
I know, but you want the transformation.
Okay.
And the way you train for transformation is different from the way you train for performance.
Okay.
So if, say, you want to be the fastest runner, the way you train for that is different than if you want to lose body fat and gain muscle.
Makes sense. So I just want to lose this belly.
Exactly.
I'm 47. I'm not trying to be an NFL athlete. I just want to get rid of this little belly.
But you want to lose the body fat at a faster rate, right?
I do.
Exactly. So when you look at the fitness industry, the folks that are really going to be good at losing body fat and gaining muscle are going to be bodybuilders because that's what we get tested on.
Absolutely.
I go on the stage damn near half naked to be like
no doubt
critiqued on my ability to lose body fat and gain muscle mass in a very aesthetic way.
No doubt.
Right? So what I found is that bodybuilders tend to be really good at getting to those destinations, getting to those transformations much faster.
For sure.
So we don't have them traveling to a gym or anything like that. So they're in and out. So the convenience factor is huge. The next thing is the meals. So remember I was telling you about the turkey breast, the egg whites. We have all those meals cooked, prepped in the right proportions, shipped to their home once a week. Half the food goes in the freezer, half the food goes in the refrigerator. They pop it in the microwave for 2 minutes. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner is ready.
Now, is that a long-term thing? Like, how sustainable is that? Because I remember we had lunch at the meeting where we first met, and you popped out your container. And you're like, I'm not eating none of that. I'll be watching. Right? My I be, she be, we bees. I be watching. But every once in a while, I don't want to do that. I want to eat. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So how do you manage that?
And that's a great question. So we have events where usually money generating events where you have to entertain a client, things like that. So when someone knows that they're going to be eating out, they send me the link to the restaurant and I get to choose what they eat when they go into that restaurant.
Woo, it's a lot of giving up, bro. Woo. Jeez.
Yes.
So you're picking. So this is like customized beyond. This is like custom tailoring.
Exactly.
So you do meal prep as well. So you have meal prep inside of this business also.
So the meal prep is not inside my business. Okay. It's with a partner business.
Okay.
It's the same meals that I use when I'm preparing for competition. So I know that it will generate the results. It's good and it will generate results. And it is so good that it's sustainable. The average person that comes through our program still ends up ordering these meals because there is not a more convenient, route that gives these kinds of results.
Absolutely.
That they have access to.
Absolutely.
But I just want to touch on that point with the going to the restaurants.
Yeah.
The idea is CEOs have to make a lot of decisions every day, right? And I break down decisions into like 3 decisions. You have your trunk, you got your leaves, you got your branches. If a tree loses a leaf, the tree doesn't die.
No doubt.
Right? But a CEO have to be good at those trunk and root decisions.
For sure.
Because if that part of the tree is compromised, the entire tree dies.
Absolutely.
Right? So the idea is to delegate as much of those leaf decisions as possible. And so what I do for CEOs or executives is I don't want you going to the restaurant trying to figure out what you're going to eat next. Focus on your client.
No
focus
doubt.
on the income generator and leave that to me.
No doubt.
Right? And use your mind for your best and highest use.
That's dope. Now, what about the everyday guy or gal though? Like that, what advice would you have? Because I may not, as an everyday guy or gal, be able to afford, and I don't know your pricing, but high touch, I could tell the difference between off-the-rack suits and a custom suit. You're definitely a custom suit, right?
Right.
Definitely custom. So what about the everyday, the average guy or gal?
So, we have a 90-day fat loss challenge where we provide a meal plan all based on DEXA scan results.
No doubt.
I don't touch anyone unless they're getting a DEXA scan.
No doubt. And explain what a DEXA scan is.
A DEXA scan is a technology that was initially created to measure bone density. But in the last 8 years, the FDA has named DEXA scan as a gold standard on body fat percentage. So when you go to a typical gym, they will do what you call a caliper test, the skin fold test to measure the body fat.
The in body.
And then there's an in body as well. And so those are not as accurate as a DEXA scan. It's a more of a 99.9% accuracy. And it's considered the gold standard across the board in terms of body fat percentage.
And what are you looking at from the results perspective from that scan? What to then put your plan together?
So first thing is the amount of muscle that's on the frame.
Okay.
The amount of muscle that's on the frame determine how much protein they should be eating in a given day, right? Yeah. When you talk to an average person in fitness, they'll say, just take the weight of your ideal weight and do that in protein. It's a way they're trying to approximate. But the real, true scientific way to do it is to feed your body based on the muscle mass that you have. Okay. Right? So we take the muscle mass and we create a protein target, right? Break down the protein target over the day, right? Then we also do something called a metabolic testing that measures your metabolism. So it's an oxygen mask you wear over your nose, you breathe into it, and it gives you a resting metabolic rate.
Absolutely.
That will tell us.
Explain that though. Explain metabolic rate.
The metabolic, so resting metabolic rate. So just think about you just sitting down all day on a Sunday. You're still burning calories, right? And we want to know how much calories you're burning at rest, right? Because when you layer on the activity on the RMR, the resting metabolic rate, then we know your true total calorie expenditure that you're doing on the day. Once we know that, we can then feed you so that you're in a caloric deficit that is not too wide and not too small, just right to lose body fat and gain muscle at the same time.
Absolutely. So I'm sure you found, and that was a great explanation. I was going to try, but then I was like, you're going to explain it way better than you're to talk, not me, right? I find it is really difficult shifting and eating more protein throughout the day. I'm just not hungry. Like I'm just not hungry. So for those who say, hey, or for those who they don't mind eating a meal or two here, but at my gym and my nutritionists and trainers, like you, Shomari, you got to wake up earlier and eat earlier. So you start burning calories earlier, and then you're going to be tired. You're not going to be watching movies at 11 o'clock at night because you're going to be asleep by 9 p.m. But the biggest thing for me, and I've done keto, is eating so much protein. Like how do you, what is your advice to be able to make that amount, to be able to eat that much protein that you need to eat, whatever it is, because we don't know yours right now, we don't know mine right now, but typically for the average person, it's more than what we're already consuming.
Yes, the typical person doesn't eat enough protein.
Yeah.
So one of the quickest ways to get down protein is protein shakes.
No doubt.
Right? You have whey protein and you have casein protein.
Yeah.
Whey protein is a great protein to take right after strength training.
Yeah.
It's not too filling.
Yeah.
It's in a liquid form, right? Casein protein is great for when you're getting ready to go to bed. It's a slow-acting protein that keeps you feeling satiated throughout the night, so you don't wake up trying to snack in the middle of the night, right? Those two protein shakes, right? That's 50 grams of protein right there.
Right there.
So
one in the morning, one at night.
Yeah, one in the morning around strength training and one at night. And so basically, say for me that's targeting 140, 150, all I have to do is eat 100 grams of protein for the rest of the day, and I space it out through the day. But if you notice, the protein shakes account for a third of what I have to. And once you get that third cut out with the protein shakes, the rest is a little bit easier.
So that means you're doing 2 protein shakes a day for 7 days?
Yes, sir.
Woo, that's a lot of that's a lot of protein. That's a lot of shakes. That's a lot of protein and a lot of shakes. But you definitely have to get your protein in, which leads me to say, I'm gonna say this statement, and I want you to respond to the statement. It's not a question. You cannot outwork in the gym bad habits in the kitchen.
Okay. And my response to that statement is you can't out-train a bad diet.
That's right. That's even better. That's even better. So no matter what you are doing in the gym, if you are consuming, putting in your body bad, then your result is going to consistently garbage in, garbage out.
Absolutely. I saw a post on Instagram. I wish I saw who wrote the post to give
Mhm.
them credit. But they said if two people eat 2,000 calories a day, right? And one person had 200 grams of protein,
Mhm.
right? And the other one just had, say, I don't know, 50 grams of protein.
Mhm.
The results would be vastly different. The person with the 200 grams of same calories now,
Mhm.
right? Same
Mhm.
calories. So
Mhm.
you can even be in a caloric deficit
Mhm.
and still not see the results
Mhm.
if you're not having what we call your macros, right?
For sure.
Macros is a breakdown of protein, carbs, and fats.
Yep.
So absolutely, you cannot out-train a bad diet.
So this is what you do is not common knowledge per se, and you have your secret sauce. So I would never say this is common knowledge as a bringing down what you do because it is is high expertise. But generally, folks know eat earlier, don't eat right before bed, eat more protein. What's the gap? Like what do you see in your business that people just don't? Is it lack of discipline? Is it just based off of not knowing for real? Like what do you see? Like I'm looking to see stratify
Man.
what you see.
Shomari, you asked some real good
I
questions.
hope so. I hope so.
This is really good. So let me tell you, what a lot of folks are missing is something called accountability.
Oh, okay. That's right.
So if somebody is watching you closely, you're just going to act better. And the way we work is that when you come on our program, we're watching you closely.
No doubt.
You wear a heart rate monitor around the chest, for example, right? And the entire heart rate report comes up on our platform. So there's no like...
It's all your business.
Yeah, all your business.
All your business out there.
It's so funny. We had a coaching session earlier on today. It was a husband and wife during the program. And we were looking at the wife's heart rate report and we saw the heart rate drop for a very long time. We're like, what were you doing?
Just took it off.
She was just like, I needed a potty break.
She said, I just needed a minute. I just needed a minute. No, but that's good. Accountability is good.
The accountability. We're fierce when it comes down to accountability.
And
right?
what's your time frame in the program? So are you like an extended, like, is this like a year program, 90-day program? Like,
so our most popular program is our 6-month VIP program.
Okay. And that's where you have the high touch points. And are you transforming? So I don't even know. I think I am 200 now, but I was 200 before, or maybe a little bit more. I was like 210, 214, and like a size 38. Muscle mass was totally different. I'm 200 now, and I'm in a size 33. So my body, I've been shifting my body.
Yeah.
This is over years, though. This is not in 6 months. But I say that to say individuals don't necessarily recognize or understand that just getting on that scale is not the end all be all, because I'm essentially the same weight, but my clothes fit dynamically different. I had to go get new clothes. How do you go ahead.
So you asked me, I'm going to go back to the question you asked me before.
Yep.
What is a thing that we do different? Because, accountability is one, but the DEXA scan is another. So DEXA scan is under the accountability framework as well, because when you go get a DEXA scan, it tells us initially how much muscle is on your frame, how much fat is on your frame, okay? And when we send you to go do the meal plan, we know mathematically how much body fat we expect to lose in a certain amount of time, right? So,
and this is based off your expertise, or this is
based on my expertise, because we've transformed over 200 physiques. So when someone comes in with a certain body fat percentage, I have a target in mind, because the other thing too is that the DEXA scan literally tells you how much pounds of body fat is on your abs, for example.
It's too intrusive for me. But this sounds amazing, and Karene has been telling me about this for like 3 months now. Oh my goodness! So they on fire like right out the gate.
Exactly. And I'm addicted to results,
No
right?
doubt.
I want, when I do that transformation, my executive is happy to go on vacation in
No
their
doubt.
bikini and their
No doubt.
trunks and
No
all that kind of
doubt.
stuff,
No
right?
doubt.
So I want to get the body fat down to a place where they can see visible lines in their abs, right? So to do that, I take the literally pounds of body fat,
Mm-hmm.
I run my linear regression on the body fat in their abs, and I can predict by what month they can see visible lines in their abs. You know,
Jeez.
based on the amount of, so, you know, say, you know, like we just did a health coaching call today, and folks are losing half a pound of body fat off of their abs a month,
Mm.
right? So we're looking at losing, you know, 3-4 pounds of body, and that's a lot under just in the abs alone, right?
Absolutely.
And the 6-month program, people are losing 30 to 40 pounds of fat
Jeez.
in that time frame. And so I know a regular performer, because remember, we know the metabolic testing, we know the VO2 testing. So we have all the data to know what kind of performance you're capable of.
The science behind it.
The whole science behind it, right? So but what is different, what keeps people coming back is everybody likes to go to school and get good grades.
No doubt.
Okay?
No
So
doubt.
when they go get their DEXA scan, and they, you know, this one woman today lost 8 pounds of body fat in 1 month.
Nice.
And she gained 4 pounds of muscle.
Nice.
When she sees it on a piece
Excited.
of paper, she
Excited.
is on fire
No
to
doubt.
go back for the next month.
Absolutely.
And you know what's so funny? When she first started the program, her first month, she had lost 5 pounds of fat, right? And she goes, I was just seeing if this was worth my time.
Oh, man.
I'm like, girl, you paid good
You
money
tested
for
me.
this.
You tested me, and you paid for it.
You paid for this.
No doubt.
So when she saw the 5 pounds, she goes, okay, I'll do everything you tell me to do. The next month, she lost 8 pounds
That's
of
what
fat.
I'm talking about.
You see what I'm saying? And so when they have that control, where they're like, I can do this, 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 and this, and it leads to 8 pounds of body fat, and they know that for themselves.
I'll take it.
That kind of power.
I'll take it.
That kind of power
Absolutely.
is really very dynamic.
Well, the engineer in me always says, what gets measured makes progress. So if I'm measuring it and I can see that progress, there's no sports that we watch on TV where you don't keep score, right? So if I can keep score, and no matter 90-something%, and I don't know, test me, go to Chat GPT, whatever, but the majority of human beings love to compete. They love some form of competition, whether publicly or privately. It feels good, as you said, to go from 5% muscle to 8% and then be watching that number rise.
Yeah. And, you know, another way to put it is what you measure, you treasure.
Absolutely.
Right? And
Absolutely.
I want to tie something back to your audience because you deal with finances. When finances and body fat have, you know, money and body fat have two things in common, right? Poverty is very bold. It shows up when you neglect to do certain income generating activities. Okay. It comes uninvited. Okay. Same thing with body fat.
For sure.
It comes uninvited, and it comes when you start neglecting the habits and things that you need to sustain.
Absolutely.
So when it comes on to, you know, because remember, before I got into health and fitness, I was in wealth management.
No doubt.
Right?
You literally read my mind. I was going to say, tell my audience your stats real quick, because they don't know that you are cold, you are smart, you are good in finance as well. So just super brief, just about finances, and then let's take it into that finance to health. Just give them a little background really quick.
So I am CFA designated, right? Which is one of the...
No, you said it. No, go ahead. You're killing it right now. My bad. I cut you off.
It is a top designation you can have in investment banking.
Yep.
Okay. I got that designation in 2019. And you know what's crazy? Anyone who knows those exams, they're very, very hard. They're considered the third hardest exams in the world. And the crazy thing about it was that the same year I got the designation was the same year I quit corporate America and went into health and fitness.
Wow.
My husband was just like,
why? What are you
in
doing?
the world?
Yeah.
You pass all 3 of your CFA exam, and now you talk about you want to be some bikini model?
He had to be like,
Lady,
woman,
you
wife.
must
Oh
be
my God.
crazy.
Right. Right. But you had a plan.
I
But you
had
had
a
a plan.
plan.
You had a
So
plan.
here's the thing. So when you study wealth really
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
what you get to understand is the inherent wealth in health,
Mm.
which means that if you die early, you're
Mhm.
losing a whole lot of money. That's why people have life insurance.
No doubt.
Okay. It's something called human capital
Absolutely.
that you lose
Absolutely.
when you die you die prematurely.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I love it.
And so if you work on your health,
Mm-hmm.
you can live longer,
Mm-hmm.
so you can do income generating activities
Absolutely.
over a longer period of time.
Absolutely.
And that is how you protect your wealth.
Absolutely.
Right? Another way to look at it is that if you don't make time for health,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be forced to make time for illness.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So what it does, it buys time.
I love both of those.
Yeah, right? It buys time so you can build a legacy,
Absolutely.
have time to build a wealth.
I gotta pause on that right there, because if you did not hear what not Karene
Mhm.
said, talking about financial education and financial legacy is synonymous with talking about your health and talking about your health and putting whoa, I'm stuttering. I love it so much. I'm stuttering. What goes inside your body. So as much as you're focused on getting to the bag, as much as you're focused on investing in the stock market, as much as you're focused on your legacy, you have to make sure that you turn around and be intrinsically focused on yourself and what's going inside of you. So that's that's so big. I think we are at a point in today's world society where BIPOC, Black people, the culture are so hyper focused on getting the bag, and that's not a negative thing, because when I was growing up, it was money don't grow on trees. This is not a conversation for little kids. Get out of the room, right? Now that dynamic has shifted, which is amazing, but I think we need to push on when we start talking about financial health, spiritual health, right? And now your physical health. Now we need to make sure that these come to the forefront, because you said it much more eloquent, but if you got all this money and you die,
Yeah.
did you get to spend it? Did you get to enjoy it, right?
Exactly.
So I really love that.
Yeah, I learned that lesson through my mom's death.
Mm.
Remember, I was only 24 when she died,
Mhm.
right? So I got to see what 22 years later could look like
No doubt.
if I don't make a change.
No doubt.
You know, there was a point, my clients always tease me because sometimes you'll find me in the gym, like straight up talking to myself.
No doubt.
I'm like,
No
I'll be looking in
doubt.
the mirror and I'll be talking to myself. You got to
Yeah.
encourage yourself.
Absolutely.
And I remember looking at myself in the mirror and saying, Mommy, I love you.
Yeah.
You taught me some really strong, good skills.
Absolutely.
But there's some things I'm going to have to unlearn
No doubt.
and relearn.
No doubt.
Right? And create new ways of being
Yep.
so that I can have a different outcome.
I love that. I absolutely love that. But you're going to have to pull on that, though. Like, how are you able to do that? Because that's also legacy. That's also historical context. That's also habitual, right? That is sometimes unconscious competence. So
There you go.
besides the unfortunate passing, what else drove you to make those changes?
Well, the lump in my breast.
That's true too.
Right.
Yeah.
So when the doctor looked at me and said, "Look, lady, you're gonna need to live a healthy and fit lifestyle," I'm like, "But I thought I was living a healthy."
For sure.
I'm like, I walk every day. I do keto diets.
For
I
sure.
do all the things. What are you talking about? The doctor couldn't give me an actual direction, so I had to figure out a journey for myself.
No doubt.
You know, and when I saw the results that I got for myself, when I got the transformation, my confidence went through the roof.
No doubt.
And it got noticed in
No
corporate
doubt.
America.
No doubt.
And then I got my first CEO position.
No doubt.
Never been in the C-suite before, but all of a sudden, I got this CEO offer.
No doubt.
Okay, I sure enough took it. That's how I got into Vistage.
No doubt.
Right?
No doubt.
Right? Because
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna take this job. I don't know what I'm doing,
No
but
doubt.
I'll get a coach to help
No
me
doubt.
figure it out.
We're gonna figure it out.
Here's a thing that I want your listeners to understand
All right.
is that health and fitness will prolong your life so you can build wealth.
Mm-hmm.
But health and fitness also improves your branding.
No doubt.
You're going to look better. You're going to feel better. You're
No
going to be
doubt.
more confident.
No
and
doubt.
that's an income generator.
Absolutely.
Right?
Building that brand.
So when, and we see it a lot with our executives,
Mm-hmm.
they get noticed
Mm-hmm.
in the workplace. When you in shape,
Mm-hmm.
people like to follow, successful, inspiring people, right?
Yeah,
And
it's this expediting change, and we could keep it a buck. Fit, attractive people do better, not necessarily because others don't, but because of how people project onto how people who are fit and attractive look.
So there is actual statistics about it. The
Mhm.
Bureau of Labor and Statistics actually posted data on incomes of somebody that is overweight
Mm-hmm.
versus somebody that is not overweight.
I'd love to see that.
Okay. There is a disparity. I
Mhm.
call it the weight equity, right?
Mm.
There is a disparity between what people are willing to pay someone that is overweight
Mhm.
versus somebody that is not.
Mm-hmm.
Now, get the thing now. It happens in every race.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're black, white, Indian,
No
Asian,
doubt.
whatever, it happens in every race. But if you are a minority
Mm.
and a woman,
It's exacerbated.
it's exacerbated.
Absolutely.
It's much better.
Absolutely.
So when I noticed that, I said,
Yeah.
I'm going to open up Fit Hidden Figure, my
Yeah.
business,
Yeah.
to help narrow the gap,
No doubt.
right?
Yep.
And I'm going to go after Black women,
No doubt.
okay? To narrow the gap,
Yeah.
because people are going to all these big conferences talking about pay equity and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Nobody wants to talk about the implicit bias that
Yeah.
is actually happening
Absolutely.
in the workplace, because if people talk about it, people get sued.
Absolutely.
Okay. So when I started the business, I saw a need.
Yep.
So I went after that need. And plus, I'm passionate about health
No
and
doubt.
fitness. Here's the thing where it comes back to finances.
Yeah.
I was scared of going from a successful investment banker
Mm-hmm.
to somebody's trainer.
Mm.
How am I going to support myself?
No doubt.
And I remember having a mentor, and she said, Karene, if you're really good at it,
Mm-hmm.
you're really passionate about
Mm-hmm.
it,
The money will
the
come.
money will come.
The money will come. You actually went into starting to answer my last question. Get the mic a little closer to you.
Mhm.
My very last question, because like I said, it's a conversation that you started to move into.
Mhm.
What are you doing to expedite change for the culture? And you started to tease into it and say you're having conversations that individuals don't want to have, and you specifically having them with Black women. So let's pull on that thread a little more. How are you expediting change for the culture?
So Fit Hidden Figure is 90% Black women.
Mm,
And we transform their physiques literally in a matter of weeks.
that's what I'm talking about.
Okay. And we give them a lot of support
Mm-hmm.
to have that happen.
Mm-hmm.
When we're done,
Mm-hmm.
we go through a whole branding session,
Mm.
new corporate headshots, everything.
That's what I'm talking about.
we hit in the marketplace. You can look me up on LinkedIn.
You are beyond a trainer. You're not. You said when you jump out, you're not a trainer. You're a
But
life coach. Like what?
Yeah, initially though, to get off, over the years, I got to
Yeah.
find ways to add value.
Yeah.
So once the transformation is done,
Yeah.
we have a corporate headshot done. We
Dope.
have our in-house, the
Dope.
corporate headshot, and we post it on LinkedIn. You can read about these ladies. I
Yeah.
mean, we're talking partners at PwC,
Talking about.
managing partners at top law firms.
Yeah.
We're talking about high-powered women, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you will be surprised to see these posts, when we post about these women,
Mm-hmm.
get over 5,000 impressions on LinkedIn,
Mm.
because we're talking about these women of high influence
Yeah.
taking time to take care of themselves
Absolutely.
while they are navigating some of the most biggest complex business decisions
Absolutely.
that is at hand these
Absolutely.
days. Okay.
Absolutely.
And we see interns
Yeah.
coming in. It was just like they even reshare it on their page because
Yeah.
they're so, inspired by all
Yeah.
of this. So that's what we're doing.
That's dope.
We're working with people of color
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah.
Everybody's invited, but I want to help with that
Yeah.
equity
Yeah. Absolutely.
piece, right?
Absolutely.
And
Never. You don't even have to say that on expediting change. The one thing that I say is I'm not against any people,
Mhm.
but if I'm looking at helping people on the margins, typically they look like me.
Exactly.
But if they don't, I'm still gonna help them.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I'm
Exactly.
still gonna help them.
That's right. That's right.
Now, take the opportunity to shout out your website, your Instagram, your phone number, your contact, blood type, whatever you want to shout out, so we can get it out there.
So my website is www.fithiddenfigure.com. So remember the movie Hidden Figures with
Yeah.
the black female mathematician?
Yeah.
The business is actually named after that movie
dope.
because my background is a strong math background.
Mm-hmm.
And or Instagram is Fit Hidden Figure, or LinkedIn is Fit Hidden Figure. You can find me personally, Karene Richards-Wise, on LinkedIn. We produce really good content on there. I'm 5'6", 137 pounds, 22.2 BMI, 15% body fat.
I'm not yelling my stats out like that.
And I say that because that's where I live. That's where I sustain. I compete at 8% body fat, much leaner than that.
No doubt.
And yeah, that's a bit about me. I'm an open book. I'm married for 2 years. I run the business with my husband. We do individual coaching. We coach couples together.
That's dope.
As well. So
I was closing the podcast, but then I got one more thing came to my mind. Age, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so my mom always said, don't ask a woman her age or weight, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not asking you your age or weight. You done shouted your weight out. You said, I'm dropping that. But just give me a couple, before we close out, just a couple tips. I'm 47.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple tidbits on if I'm 40 or 50 or 55, like you're never too old.
So here's the thing. I'm 43 years old. I just celebrated my 43rd birthday.
No doubt. Congratulations.
And thank you. And I started my fitness journey at 35. Most of our clients are over 40. So we don't have a whole bunch of young bucks doing this. Right? So we have our own hashtag Fit Over 40 going on on every social media platform you can ever imagine.
No doubt.
But yes, our clientele is over 40. Then we have a bunch of over 50 that is dealing with the menopause issue and that kind of thing as well. What we found with the men, though, over 50 or even over 45, that testosterone level starts to drop. So we incorporate blood work.
No doubt.
And that kind of thing because you need that for optimal performance as well.
For sure. This has been dope, man. I couldn't wait to begin to push out more content about not just financial health, but specifically how the physical health matches and pairs and has so much synergy with your financial health. And I knew once we met, I'm telling you, I was watching you, you pulled out your container. I said, I have to tell her about my podcast because A, I want to get this Black queen in front of folks who has their own business. And then B, just, you know what I mean? Hearing more people talk about taking care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself. I lost my father to cancer. My story is my mother and my father went to the doctor and the doctor said, hey, y'all got to stop smoking and y'all got to get in the gym or you might end up with cancer. I don't even think she said cancer. I think she was more blunt. One of y'all might end up dead. My mom stopped that day. My dad continued on. He ended up getting cancer. So health is huge. I'm really, really big on it. So I'm so happy that you took the time because I know you're super busy. The business is doing well. She said financial mathematics, y'all. So like if you don't get how smart she is putting this information together and coming letting us know on Expediting Change, I don't know what else to say. So I appreciate you. Thank you for pulling up. This has been Expediting Change. I sincerely appreciate y'all on Expediting Change. I literally just see people and I bring them on based off the things that they're doing in the community and for the community. And it was sitting on my spirit and on my heart, the conversation that I was having with a few individuals about mental health to get somebody on to talk about physical health and how that physical health has so many parallels and synergies with financial health. Yes, we are not saying no longer go after the bag. We want you to get to the bag. Absolutely. Financial education is the key. Building legacy is absolutely key. However, we don't want to lose sight that our physical health is huge. And as Karene said, by making sure that you take care of your physical health, it gives you the opportunity to continue to build your legacy on your financial health. So you're never too old. You can never outrun what you put in your mouth based off of your diet. So make sure that you're taking care of your physical health. This has been Expediting Change. I appreciate you.
Why is it you really want to preach, boy? I want to teach more.